looks like we're up and running. Alright, well, welcome back. We are finally back again for some more Run and Bun. Coming off the heels of having completed all of the Team Magma Hideout. Coming out of it with only 4 deaths throughout the whole section and 9 deaths overall. So, pretty great on that front. I did have to unfortunately sack my Rosa Raid, which is kind of tough because my box is now pretty thin on grass types. And that one's arguably one of the best ones. But regardless, we made it through, and I do have a potential opportunity for another grass type for the encounter for Team Magma's Hideout. But I'm gonna hold off on that because the Hell Room floor does have also possible for other pseudo legendaries. So if I feel like at some point I really am desperate for another grass type, then I'll roll it, but I'm gonna hold off for now and wait until my level cap increases. But today it'll be a quick stream because I want to get at least the first couple fights started with the Aqua Hideout. And I've already been looking at the fights and just, you know, this game doesn't give you a break because arguably I would say, at least so far, the fights in Aqua's Hideout seem even tougher than the Magma's Hideout, so yeah, but I do have the first fight planned out completely. It should be completely riskless. And then I do have the second fight sort of prepped. So if we could get at least a few fights done today, that'd be pretty great. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the first fight though. So it's gonna be, we now have access to here, which should be just through here. I'm not sure if this is the fight. I don't think it is, but I'm gonna save just in case. If it is the fight, then I'll closet because I need my Omastar to be toxic before the fight starts. Oh, I think it's supposed to trick or something first. Oh yeah, I have to go to Slateport first, that's right. Alright, well, let's go do that first then. Yeah, because I think he's in, yeah, over here. Yeah, because he stole their submarine. I remember this. Oh, I know, he's about to run up and steal it. That's right. And it's been a while since I've done a full playthrough of Emerald. I forget all these little cutscenes you gotta go through. Alright, well now we can go and chase them back to Lily Cove. Yeah, so now the path should be cleared. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, there we go. So, grunts are now cleared. Let me just tiptoe my way to the first grunt. Okay, there he is. Alright, cool. So let me go ahead and save. And then I do need to pre-toxic my Omastar before the fight starts, so let me do that real quick. Alright, there we go. So triple check my items, zoom lens, no item, 215 HP, Asper Berry, Magnet, Life Orb, 174 HP. And then let me just triple check the line here in the calcs one more time. Go you. Go you. Yeah. Everything looks to be good. This fight should be completely riskless. If we planned everything correctly, so... this first fight already starts off pretty tough. It's a full team with hacks items, so... But yeah, let's go ahead and take this guy on. Alright, first Aqua Grunt. He leads a Persian that has Hypnosis and a Bright Powder. So he wants to put you to sleep, and he's also you're 10% more likely to miss. So that's why I pre-toxin my Omastar so I can't get put to sleep. And I'm holding a zoom lens to bypass the effects of the Bright Powder. And I can just simply KO with a couple surfs. And it'll do very little damage to me, so... we'll start with a 2-shot here. As it goes for Night Slashes. Alright, and we'll do one more. So Persian goes down. This should always bring in... What's its face? The Pangoro next. Yeah. So Pangoro comes in. Should always see a KO with only close combat. But it's also holding a Quick Claw, so gives it a chance to always move first. So my Gliscor can 1v1 this fairly well. So we'll come in on the guaranteed close combat here. There we go. And then Pangoro will go for a... I'll outspeed it in one shot with Acrobatics. If Quick Claw does proc, will always live a actual critical hit crunch. So we're perfectly fine to attack here. Alright, so Pangoro goes down. This should always be bringing in Buizel next. Oh, Floatzel, I mean, yeah. Yeah, because, so the Floatzel is pretty fast. It's holding a... What's it holding? A... Focus Band, which makes it pretty annoying because it gives it a 10% chance to always survive any hit. So to deal with that, right now it's always going to go for Ice Punch. So I'm going to swap to my Caracosta, which can take it very well. And I'm holding Asper Berry in case it freezes. Okay, so there's Ice Punch. Alright, so what we're gonna do now, it's either gonna go for Liquidation or Power Up Punch, because it sees it as a setup move. We're just gonna simply knock off the Focus Band to get rid of it here. Alright, cool, Liquidation. Alright, so Focus Band's knocked off, it can no longer survive with it. So now I'm gonna swap to my Electrode on either the Liquidation or Power Up Punch. So Liquidation, you take it very well. And so now we can outspeed, and with that knockoff damage, always one-shot with Volt Switch, allowing us to get a free switch as well. Go, perfect. Hits. Critical hit as well, on top of that. Alright, and then from here, I'm gonna be bringing in, let me see. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to my Sneasler, which should always be baiting in the Kingler. Perfect. Yeah, Kingler comes in because it's the only thing that sees that doesn't get KO'd and KOs me. So it always sees a guaranteed KO with Liquidation. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the Liquidation with my Gliscopod here. This will always proc Emergency Exit. Oh, wait, what? Why didn't that proc Emergency Exit? Oh, does Sheer Force ignore Emergency Exit? Wait, what? That's... Hold up. I didn't know about that. Well, that's pretty bad. It's... Yeah, because now... Let me see. Because... Sheer Force... Ignore... Emergency Exit. Huh. I did not know that. Well, that's... Yeah, so that's kind of terrible, because... now it's gonna go for guaranteed Rock Slide. Which... always KOs my Kingler. The goal here was to get an emergency exit into my Electrode. So that I could KO with a Volt Switch, but I can't really do that now, so... Let me see, how much HP does my Electrode have? 139? So, if I get bait in Liquidation, Electrode always lives non-crit. But I would definitely be dead to crit Liquidation. I could go... I could go Caracosta on the rock slide to bait highest damage liquidation. But rock slide does a pretty good amount to it as well. Yeah. I could also go... I could also go Gliscor, but that's also going to do a lot of damage. Yeah, this is a very bad spot. Let me see. If I... Let's see here. My Caracosta is at 153. Max Roll Rock Slide does 92. That'll leave me at 61. Which would always bait... That would also bait Rock Slide. I could go Sneasler. Because the HP... I was never planning on Sneasler taking a hit. So... Yeah, because if I don't get crit, that would always bait slow kill with liquidation, so I can't go for agility. And then I just have to survive a liquidation crit. Alright, well, this is where some unfortunate stuff can start to happen, so... Oh, man. What a way to start. Let me just triple check. 146. Yeah, so it's guaranteed Rock Slide here. I'm gonna swap to Sneasler and really, really hope that this doesn't... I need to dodge 2 crits in a row, basically. Alright, come on. We can do this. Rock Slide, don't crit, please. Thank you. Alright, now I need to dodge another one. This is always liquidation. Electrode always lives, but never a crit. Oh, come on, please. No crit, no crit. Oh my... Oh, it's... Oh my gosh. That was so scary. Okay. Well, I think from here we're perfectly safe now, because... with a magnet, my Electrode always outspeeds, and I can now one-shot and swap out with Volt Switch. Okay. And there's the crit that I dodged. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so now everything is perfectly safe, because now I could just go immediately to Sneasler again. And this always bring in the Grapple Lock, which is pretty tanky because of its Assault Vest, but with a Life Orb, Fake Out into close combat, just barely guarantee one-shots this Grapple Lock. So we'll Fake Out. Close combat should always KO here. Perfect. Alright. And then this just leaves the Tauros, or I mean the Buffalant, which doesn't have any focus sashes, focus bands, no quick claws. I can just simply outspeed and one-shot with close combat. Okay. Alright. What a way to start off this this section here, man. Yeah, I had no idea that Sheer Force negated emergency exit. I guess it's because emergency exit is considered a secondary effect, so I just didn't know it applied to the receiving to the receiver. Alright, well. Let's go back and heal. Man, I don't know how much longer I can continue frauding some of these fights here. I've gone away with this a couple times now. But man, you know, what? That doesn't bode too much well for the rest of the fights, but I did want to do at least one more fight for this evening. And I have a sort of game plan for it. It's not, I don't think it's completely riskless, but it should be at least very, very, very minimal risk. So yeah, for this fight, let me see here. So for this one, the game plan, there's a lead cryogonal with dual screens and a focus band. So I believe my game plan for this was lead Kecleon to knock off the focused band, then swap to Cryogonal to KO with a Brick Break, because Pop Raja can learn Brick Break for whatever reason, which would always bait Hariyama, which the game plan from there was to go Dragonite on a close combat, which will then allow me to KO with dual wing beats, and then pre-damage to bait Dragon Pulse KO into with so it doesn't go for Leaf Storm, and then deal with this with Zoom Lens pre-poisoned Corviknight. And then make sure pre-damaged enough to bait Wild Charge. Then I could go Electrode into Hydreigon for a KO. And then that just leaves the Alola, which I can just deal with Electrode. Yeah, so the only sketchy thing here is not taking too much damage as to for Hariyama to only go for close combat and not Thunder Punch. That'll be the only thing. But if I Toxic and hold a Citrus Berry, it should deal with that. Let me see. And then I can hold a Black Glasses on Kecleon so that it's always a KO with knockoff into Brick Break. Actually, I don't even need that. Brick Break already does enough damage on its own. Alright, cool. So then I could probably just hold Asphairberry then. And then pre-Toxic Paparaja. This should always only bait close combat. The only issue is that Cryogonal isn't guaranteed to go for screens here, because it's not holding a Light Clay. So it could definitely, especially if on the first turn, Kecleon doesn't have any special attacking moves, so... I could think about KOing with something else. But I still need to deal with the Focus Band here. Because I could teach Sneasler Brick Break, but then the problem there is that I wouldn't be showing KO on Superior. But I guess if I'm planning on baiting it early, I guess that wouldn't really matter then. But that wouldn't be Hariyama. That would probably be... But, and if it is, it wouldn't be guaranteed close combat. So... The only concern here is taking too much damage. So... After... If Cryogonal goes for Reflect on turn 1, I'd be swapping it on an Ice Beam. So... At minimum, I'd be taking 2 ticks of Toxic, which is 6.25 minus 12.5. And then minimum roll free Ice Beam is 17.4. That would always bring me below half. So then, if I with a Citrus Berry, that would bring me back to 71. If Cryogonal gets 2 max roll crits, that'd be 125 minus 31 minus 6.25 minus 12.5. That would bring me in Thunder Punch range. If that happens, I could equip a Sharp Beak just in case, but then the problem would be trying to bait the guaranteed KO from Superior. I could pre-status though the Dragonite as well, to try to prevent this, to see what would that add up to. So let's see, I want to be at 31.7% HP. So if I was pre-poisoned, that'd be 2 turns of that would be 25. Plus minimum close combat is 35.3. So if I pre-damage to 92, pre-poisoned, max roll crit close combat is 63.4. Well, actually, max roll Thunder Punch crit is 69.9. And then I would be dead to... What if it was pretty toxic, though? I would live toxic, but if I don't... If I don't live that, then there'd be a problem there. Yeah, this is... Seems to be a little too much risk here. Something I could also do is bait guaranteed Freeze Dry into Salazzle into Encore. And then Toxic it. And then swap to something else for the KO. Yeah, because it's 3 turns, so first turn set up Toxic. First turn Encore. Toxic, third turn, swap into something. So that could work. The only problem is Blazzle doesn't live 3 max roll crits freeze dries, but that's perfectly fine, but I would also have to dodge 2 freeze chances. Yeah, that seems a little too volatile also. Let's see something. Let's see, is there someone... I mean, Cop Barrage is my best way to deal with the screens with Brick Break. Yeah, because I don't want to teach anything over on Infernape. And Dragapult will de-incentivize screens due to Infiltrator. But that doesn't... If it sets it up, it doesn't get rid of it. Other options though. I could use Obstagoon. But he would bait potentially fast KO after taking an Ice Beam, yeah. I don't want that. And spamming, just spamming Brick Break doesn't deal with the Focus Band potential procs. Let's see, can Drapion learn Brick Break? Let me see. Drapion. Oh, you can learn Brick Break. Oh. Well, I could teach that over Poison Jab. And then I can KO with Knockoff into Brick Break. I would have to hold a... I would have to hold an Aspear Berry, though, to prevent freeze. And if I get attacked twice, that would be... random move from the Superior. Which actually wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I could still go Corviknight, deal with it from there. If I do that, then I would most likely still bait Electros. Deal with that with Hydreigon. Which then could more likely bait Close Combat from Hariyama. I could still go to Dragonite and then deal with the Alomola from there. So actually that actually might be better. Cause then I can use Drapion in place of both Kecleon and the Copperajah. So let me just see here. If I get attacked once and get a high roll, I can't get crit, which makes this more manageable. Okay, then I would always be baiting Slow Kill from Hariyama. If I get hit twice, though, max roll, that would leave me at 11.4, which would then be baiting Slow Kill from Drapion. So that's actually not bad. The only problem would be getting... I'd be risking double freeze still, because I can only hold one Aspear Berry, and if I would definitely die to pre-poison double hit. But it should be fine, hopefully. But this seems more... he's less volatile than the other option I had, and then it leaves me another team slot too, which is pretty good. Yeah, but the likelihood of him attacking twice is already very low, and then on top of that, the probability of getting 2 freezes in a row would be a very, very low odd. So I think I'm willing to risk that. And then I would just have alternating lines depending on how much damage I take. Let me just see. If I were to take 2 min-roll ice beams, 37.6. That'll leave me at 24.8. That wouldn't be baiting. So I should probably pre-damage. Let me see. If I pre-damage to 40, let's see. 47 plus 2 min-rolls of Ice Beam, which is 84. That'd be 215 HP. Max roll Ice Beam deals 99. So yeah, I would always live that, and I could pre-damage to guarantee a fast KO. If it gets a Leaf Storm off, it should be perfectly fine, because even at +2 special attack, it doesn't deal that much damage to me. The only problem would be it going for another Leaf Storm after that. Which isn't guaranteed, because it can go for Leech Seed as well, but... Let me see, can I pre-damage to guarantee Dragon Pulse and still live? That would be 42. 42 plus 2 min-roll Ice Beams. That would be 210. Yeah, I would always live that too. So I could pre-damage to make it a 50-50 between Leaf Storm and Dragon Pulse. So I guess it may not be a true 50-50 because of the additive scores of a setup move, but it adds less of a likelihood. And then if I take just 1 max roll Ice Beam, that'd be 111, which would always be above Rock Slide and Thunder Punch from Hariyama, which again is the more likelihood thing to happen. So I would have to get extremely poor odds for things to go really wrong this fight. But it should still be fine either way. So most likely what would happen is it sets up Reflects, I knock off, it goes for Ice Beam, I Brick Break, dissipates Hariyama, post combat into Dragon Knight. And then I could do the pre-damaging as well here to always bait Dragon Pulse Superior into Corviknight, deal 1v1 that. I'm wondering if it's even worth. It would be worth also just equipping a just equipping a wide lens and going for the 99% accuracy. Because Sneasler or Infernape could take a hit and survive even after +2. I guess not after a +2 crit, but... The problem be if I miss, it goes for glare or it gets a crit, but... Yeah, I shouldn't risk that. Yeah, I should just go for this. Be low enough to bait guaranteed wild charge. And then what that allows me to do is I could instead of going straight to Hydreigon, so I think I was gonna go Electrode anyway. So could I go? Let's see, Golisopod would always live a wild charge. And proc emergency exit. Yeah, so that way I'm not risking coil on the switch. Here, get emergency exit into Hydreigon, go for the KO, and then deal with the Alomola. Yeah, I think this should be good. Just go over the numbers again with the Corviknight. Zoom lens, free poison. Just double check. Let's see, 78. So 78 plus 87 equals 165. If close combat crits, that would be 156. I would always live. Yeah. Fade Fast, Dragon Pulse. be at +2 special attack. Storm is still not doing a whole ton of damage. Alright, yeah. I think this plan should work. Oh hey, what's up, Chris? Good to see you again. I didn't see you in the chat, sorry about that. It's good to see us. Hope you've been doing alright. Yeah, I'm just trying to prep one more fight here. It's a pretty tough one. Hopefully things can work alright with it, but I think I have a okay game plan for it. So let me see. I need for this fight, we need Drapion. We need let's see. We need Dragonite and then Corviknight. We need Electrode. Hydreigon and Golisopod. And then for items, I need Zoom Lens for Corviknight. I need Asperberry for Drapion. Don't need an item for Dragonites or for these guys. I guess I could. Oh no, I want a Pecha Berry for Electrode. That's right. Pecha Berry for Electrode. And then we actually do want, what was it? Dragon Fang on Hydreigon. So I could KO through the leftovers. Because that would be 75.3 plus 38. 8.8. Yeah, that'd always KO through leftovers recovery. And it would never bait knockoff from Electros. Well, actually, no, I need to prevent potential. Well, I guess I could just pre-toxic then to prevent wild charge paralysis. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, so then because without the Dragon Fang, it would just be 38.8 plus 62.3, which doesn't guarantee KO through leftovers recovery. Okay, yeah, then that should be fine. So we can go Dragon Fang for Hydreigon and remember to pre-toxic him before the fight starts. And that should be good. And then I just need to teach Brick Break to Drapion. So let's go do that real quick. Brick Break over Poison Jab, because we could always reteach that. Alright, cool. Alright. So, this should be good, and then I need to do the pre-damaging. Drapion needs to be at 210, I believe. Let me triple check that. Let's see, 42 plus 84. Yeah, 210 HP. Good. I need Dragonite to be at... Yeah, I'm just triple checking. Sure Force doesn't remove the effect of the defense drops from close combat, so yeah, we're fine with that. So I need to be at 78 plus 78 plus 87. Yeah. And, I mean, I guess I could hold a Sharp Beak just in case, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct. There's no harm in equipping an item for him. So, might as well. So, 165 HP for Dragonite. Don't need pre-damage on anyone else, so that should be fine. I just gotta remember to pre-poison and pre-toxic the right people before the fight starts, but this should be good. Let's go ahead and get this second fight done. So we just beat you. Save before I go through here. I don't know if I'm gonna get ambushed. I'm gonna... it's just saying now, I'll pause it if I do. Oh, I forgot about the teleport pads for this. Yeah, so same thing. If I accidentally run into the trainer here, I'm gonna closet. because I have no idea where these go. And that's an electrode. Do not want to touch that. Alright, so... Okay, perfect. There she is. Alright, so let me save. And I need to... pre-poison... Corviknight and pre-toxic... Hydreigon. So let's do that here. And then pre-toxic. Cool, and let me triple check I have all the right items here. Asper 210, Sharp Beak 165, Zoom Lens, Pecha, Dragon Fang, none. Alright, this should be good. Let's get Aqua Fight number 2 down here. These fights are pretty brutal, I'm not gonna lie. And I did teach Brick Break. Okay, good. Alright, let's go and do this here. Alright, Team Aqua Grunt, number 2. She leads a Cryogonal with screens and a Focus Band. Which it wants to set up, but it's not guaranteed to set up, which makes it the fun, risky part. So I'm gonna go for knockoff, and hopefully it goes for reflect turn 1. So let's go for that here. Yep, there we go. So now it should attack with a Ice Beam. I'm gonna go for Brick Break. Holding Asper Berry in case of freeze. Perfect. Alright, just barely. And then now it's either gonna reflect or attack again. Either is perfectly fine. Alright, there we go. So... Yep, there's a freeze. Asper Berry for that. Alright, so this is a different route. So this will be bringing in the Superior first. So this should still be fine. Reflect is off the field. Superior comes in. And this thing's the true monster because it's got Contrary with Leaf Storm, and it has a Bright Powder, making it incredibly difficult to deal with. It also has Glare and Leech Seed as well. But right now, see, it's a guaranteed fast KO with either Leaf Storm or Dragon Pulse. Ideally, we see it go for Dragon Pulse here as I go to Corviknight. Yep, perfect. So that was ideal. This is going to deal very little. Alright, so I'm status to prevent the Glare Paralysis. It can still go for Leech Seed. But it's most likely going to go for a Leaf Storm to attack and raise its special attack. I'm holding a Zoom Lens to counteract the Bright Powder. And I'm going to go for a Brave Bird to deal a big chunk of damage here. Okay, so there's a Leech Seed. Go for Brave Bird. This will deal a good chunk. Alright, so the thing I need to ensure before I KO this thing is I need to be at... let's see. I need to be at below 164, but above 55. So I'm gonna go for a roost here to heal up. So there's a leaf storm. We should always live this. Yeah. So there's the special attack raise. I should go for one more roost, and then go for the KO. Alright. So now I'm gonna go for Brave Bird KO here. A little sketchy, but we should be fine. Oh, I didn't account for self-hit damage there. I think my... oh, man. Am I gonna survive this? Just barely, I think. Oh my god, 1 HP! Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, well, this was not intended, because now this is random move from Hariyama. Let's see. Definitely have to steer here. Let's see. I think I need to go to Lissapod for the emergency exit. Oh wait, no, but he has sheer force too. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, well, this is pretty bad. Because there's no one else I can really switch to. I think, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to sack my Drapion here. Because... sheer force... man, sheer force is such an annoying ability, because it removes the effect of emergency exit. Yeah. So... yeah, and if I swap to... Dragon Knight on a potential Rock Slide, then it's just dead. I really don't want that, so... yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think I have to sack Drapion here. Just so I can get a safe switch into Dragon Knight for the KO here. Yeah. Yeah, then I'll have to go a Electrode first to get Volt Switch to deal some damage, since it won't take Life Orb damage. Yeah. I would have loved to sack something else, but yeah, we're gonna have to do this here. Sorry about this, Slipknot. Yeah, there's a close combat. So actually that's ideal, because it gets his defense drop. So now I can just go straight to I could go straight to Dragonite for the KO here. Which will always bait Wild Charge from Electros, since it sees that I outspeed in 2-shot. So then I can emergency exit into Hydreigon and then go from there. Yeah. That's unfortunate. These fights are not starting off well. It is what it is. Alright, so we go Dragonite for the Revenge KO with Dual Wing Beat here. This brings in Electros, which can't go for Coil. So it has to go for a Wild Charge. So I am going to go to Golisopod, which will always live a crit and will proc Emergency Exit at the same time. Yep, there we go. Get the proc. Go to Hydreigon. And the only thing you could do here is go for Wild Charge and Pre-Toxics to prevent status. So we can always go for a KO with Dark Pulse into Draco Meteor. Yeah, because Draco Meteor, if I go for Draco Meteor first, it'll lower my special attack. So Dark Pulse first. Puncher would be funny. There we go. Alright, some luck back in my favor a little bit. Alright, now Draco Meteor will always KO from here. Alright, and then this just leaves a Alola-Mola, which all it has is basically Scald, Whirlpool, Wish, and Toxic with a Rocky Helmet. So doesn't threaten too much. I can just go straight to my Electrode to 1v1 it. Whirlpool, perfectly fine. And then we can just KO with 2 Thunderbolts from here. Yeah, burn perfectly fine too. Go for the KO here. Alright. Alright, 2 fights down, but already starting off with a unintended death here. Definitely not what you want to see, but it's fine. I didn't really bring Drapion to that many fights recently anyway, so it's not terrible, but I keep unintentionally losing guys that I would much rather want to sack. I have a whole second box full of it's full of guys I'd much rather want to sack, but it is what it is. Alright, Slipknot. Sorry I couldn't help you live, buddy. Here, buddy. And that puts us at 10 deaths flat. Alright, and I'm gonna go ahead and end there, because man, these fights are killing me. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. Thanks to everyone who watched. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and I'll see everyone.